Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Andrew with Iron Card Gaming. Let me just apologize for not being so active with the channel lately with the holidays and everything going on in the world. But today, I'm bringing you my girl's deck profile, which is a slept-on archetype out of Secret Slayers, which is the Rikka deck. Basically, it's an all plant-based deck, so I like to call it, Rikka plant, because, it's part Rikka, part plant. You get it. Before we get into the deck profile, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the deck in the comment section below. And without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, you're playing 3 Rikka Petals. Basically with this card, it's your main combo starter, your main toolbox monster. Rikka Petals effect is during your main phase, you can target one. You can take one plant monster from your deck except Rikka Petal and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except plant monsters during your opponent's end phase while this card is in your graveyard. You can, if you control no monsters at all, or control no monsters at all, or all the monsters you control are plant monsters, you can special summon this card. You can only use the effect once per turn. Basically, like I said, your entire main deck is plants. As you guys are going to see, half the extra deck is plants. You're not going to have any problem getting her back on the field. And, rinse and repeat every turn. Then, I play 2 Primillas. Basically, Primilla's effect is if a monster you control is tributed, you get to special summon her out, and then you can target up to 2 plant monsters, and they gain 2 levels until the end of the turn. I don't really use her effect a lot, I won't lie to you. Only reason this card is in the deck is because I have a level 4 Rikka Queen, and I need these 2 to get her out on the field. Then I play 3 Snowdrop Rikka Fairy. Basically, this is going to be your go-to monster right here. You're going to search her off a Petal, and then you're going to tribute Petal to bring her, and not just her, but her effect, when she's special summoned by attributing a plant monster, she can special summon herself and 1 other plant monster from your hand. Then her second effect, and this is the part that gets good with her effect, you can target 1 plant monster on the field and make all plant monsters on the field that card's level for the rest of the turn. So you can easily go into your level 8s, your level 5s, level 4s, whatever you have in your extra deck, you can go into her with her. And you can also special summon off of her. So it's a really dope way to get your combo started. Then I play 2 Hellbore, the Rikka Fairy. Her effect is when your opponent activates a monster effect that targets monsters you control while you control a Rikka monster. Quick effect, you contribute this card from your hand or face up on the field, negate the effect. If this card is in your graveyard, you contribute 1 plant monster, special summon this card in defense position but banish it when it leaves the field. It's basically like a built-in Ash, Ghost Ogre, whatever effect they trigger, as long as you have a Rikka on the field and they're targeting one of your monsters, you can negate it. And then you can tribute one of your monsters and bring her back. And you can recycle. Basically, the only thing that sucks about her is you can't recycle her, because once she leaves the field after being special summoned from the grave, she's banished. Then I play 1 Talea, Princess of Cherry Blossoms. Basically, she's just going to be one of your big boss monsters in the deck. She gains 100 attack for each plant monster you control. Other plant monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. So she not only protects all your other monsters, but she gains 100 attack for each one. So you can get her pretty high up. Then I play 3 Giga Plants. Basically with Giga Plant, this card with basically Giga Plant's effect is this card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. While this card is normal summoned on the field, while this card is a normal monster on the field, you can normal summon it to have it become an effect monster with this effect. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 plant, insect, or plant monster from your hand or graveyard. So, with that said, you can basically summon him, just tribute summon him, bring him out, and then you can activate his effect, normal summon him, and then he gains the effect of being able to add another monster to the field. So basically you're going to try and combo this with Snowdrop. So let's say you have Snowdrop and Gigaplant in your hand. You're going to summon out Snowdrop, summon out Gigaplant, and then activate Gigaplant's effect. And, you know, basically get you another body on the board. Then I play 3 Lone Fire Blossoms. Like I said, guys, most of your main deck monsters are all plants. So Lone Fire is self-explanatory. Once per turn, you contribute 1 face-up plant monster, special summon 1 monster from your deck. So this basically gets you, you know, let's say you don't draw into a petal or you don't open with a petal, but you open with a Lone Fire. Summon Lone Fire, bring out petal, and then petal just lets you extend into all your, you know, Rikka combos and combo out. Then, you know, for basic hand traps, I'm playing 2 Ash and 1 Ghost just to cover all my bases on, you know, back row effects or monster effects. So now, let's get on to the spells. Spells, since you're playing a good size level 8 package, I'm going to run trade-in just in case, you know, you hit a brick wall and, you know, you have level 8s but you can't summon anything. You know, just start popping trade-ins and see what you can pull. You know, this is a great card for when you need a clutch play. Then, since you are running an all plant deck, this is where the deck's going to get pretty interesting. I run 3 Seed Cannon. Sucks that they don't have this card in holo, but it is what it is. Basically, Seed Cannon's effect is each time a plant monster is summoned, place 1 plant counter on this card, maximum 5. You can send this card to the graveyard and inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each plant counter on it. With that said, 500 times 5, that's 2,500. I'm running 3 of these. If you can get all 3 of these, or at least 2 of them, into your opening hand, it's free damage. It's free damage to your opponent. They won't see it coming. Most of the time, people I play with this deck, they can't negate the damage. You know, it is such a nasty card that, you know, I don't know why this card's been slept on for so long. Then, kind of like a monster reborn for plant monsters, you know, it's Miracle Fertilizer. There is a downside to this card, but, you know, yeah, I think it outweighs its effect outweighs its cons. Once per turn, you can target 1 plant monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. You cannot normal or set during the turn you special summon with this card. Even if this card leaves the field, if a monster is special summoned by this effect, leaves the field, destroy this card. So, you can't normal or set, but it doesn't lock you out of special summoning. So you can still special summon with, you know, let's say you bring Petal back, or you bring any monster back. You know, let's say you bring out Lone Fire. You bring back Lone Fire. You can special summon with Lone Fire, bring in Petal, and, you know, this card just allows you to combo just in case you don't have a play. You know, I love this card. Yes, it locks you out of your normal summon, but if you're able to summon the right card from the graveyard, this card saves you in a tough spot. Then, you know, for my singles, I'm playing a Monster Reborn, 1-for-1, Called, and Raigeki. Basically, Monster Reborn allows you to bring a monster back from the graveyard. 1-for-1, you send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon 1 level 1. That gets you into your Petal. Called by the Grave. It sucks that it's at 1, but helps you negate some hand traps. Raigeki, just in case you're in a crappy spot, you know, you can destroy your opponent's at least all your opponent's monsters. At least keep you from taking a lot of damage. Oh, and emergency provisions. You're about to see why I run emergency provisions, just for the simple fact that I do run a trap heavy deck, but you'll see that the traps are fairly good, fairly disgusting, and hopefully you guys like them. Basically, emergency provisions is send magic or trap cards on your side of the field to the graveyard and increase your life points by 1,000 per card. This card is excluded. So like I said, I run a trap heavy deck. Let's say you've got 4 traps on the board. Your opponent's, you know, you're struggling, you're low on life points, pop emergency provisions, that's an extra 4,000 life points. So it's a clutch card. The deck can take a beating and also give one at the same time. Then I play Floodgate Trap Hole, Wall of Thorns, and hold up guys, let me move everything over, and Over Doom Line. So Floodgate Trap Hole, your opponent can special summon monsters, change the monster or monsters to face down defense position, and monsters changed to face down positions that by this effect cannot change their battle position. So let's say your opponent combos, goes crazy, and on the last card excuse me guys, sorry about that. Let's say your opponent goes crazy, summons a whole field load of monsters, and then just hit him with Floodgate Trap Hole. You instantly put everything face down except for links, and you know, you just, at that point, you kind of have them on a standstill because they might have filled their field up or whatever. Wall of Thorns, while a plant monster you control is targeted for an attack, destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. Like I said, you know, shuts your opponent out, or at least stops your opponent's attack. And then Over Doom Line, all plant monsters special summon from the graveyard to your side of the field while this card is face up on the field. Sorry. All plant monsters special summon from the graveyard to your side of the field while this card is face up on the field. Gain 1,000 attack. Destroy this card during your second standby phase after activation. Just basically makes your cards beefier, just to protect yourself. Now, because, you know, I let my girl pick the cards she wanted for this deck and I helped her build it, this is where things get interesting. You know, normally you run this at 3, but you know, she only wanted one of them. Basically, it's evenly matched. We all know what evenly matched does. At the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banish cards from their field face down, so they control the same number of cards as you do. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. Basically, it just levels out the playing field. So now we're gonna get into the really fun stuff and the interesting stuff for some of you who don't like using these cards. I'm playing one Mirror Force launcher, then I'm playing Blazing Mirror Force, Drowning Mirror Force, Regular Mirror Force, Quaking Mirror Force, and Storming. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, yo, what's with all the Mirror Forces? You know, for me, I thought it was crazy too, until I started playing my girl with this deck, once my girl started playing me, and you guys, running Mirror Force Launcher, basically, Mirror Force Launcher once per turn during your main phase, you can discard one monster, add one Mirror Force from your deck to hand, from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this set card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can set this card from your graveyard and one Mirror Force from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So basically, let's say your opponent destroys this, you not only get to bring this card back to your hand, if I read that, you can set this card from your, so you basically, if it gets destroyed, you get to set it from the graveyard, and then you get to pick one of these to special summon out onto your field and set it. Then, Blazing Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy as many attack position monsters as your opponent controls as possible. And if you do, take damage equal to half the combined original attack of those destroyed monsters, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the damage you took. So basically, with Blazing Mirror Force, it's a trade-off. You're going to take damage, but your opponent's going to take it too. Drowning Mirror Force, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, a direct attack, shuffle all attack position monsters your opponent controls into the deck. That's basically you're just going to reset your opponent completely and leave their field wide open. Mirror Force, everybody knows what Mirror Force does. Destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. Quaking Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, change all attack position monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. When your opponent declares, like I said, Quaking Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, change all attack position monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. Monsters changed to face down defense position by this card cannot change their battle position. You effectively shut your opponent out of attacking and you lock their field. Let's say they have at least 3-4 monsters on the field. You've now just filled up all their spaces. It shuts them out and it gives you a chance to, recover or get your footing or, get the edge on them. Storming Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, return all face-up attack position monsters your opponent controls to the hand. So, if they've got a bunch of XYZs or links, guess what? Everything's going back into the extra deck. Leaves their opponent wide open. Let's say they've already full comboed. These cards are nasty. I know a lot of people don't run Mirror Forces, but playing this on YGO Pro, playing against my girl, taking it to my friends, these 6 cards are disgusting. And they throw your opponent through for a ringer no matter which card it is. So like I said, the deck gets interesting. And that's it for the main deck, guys. So let's get into the extra deck. So like I said, I play a level 4 Rikka, hence why I only have 2 Pramillas. Rikka Queen, Starina, Plant XYZ, 2 level 4s. You can detach one material from this card, then target one plant monster or a Rikka card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. If this card with XYZ material is tributed, you can special summon one rank 5 higher plant XYZ monster from your extra deck or graveyard, then attach this card to it as a material. You can only use this effect once per turn. Clearly, let's say you tribute her off to summon Snowdrop. Let's say you get her out, summon Snowdrop. You get to bring out for free one rank 5 or higher plant XYZ monster. And yes, I am running higher rank XYZ plant monsters. So trust me, this card is a toolbox card for your extra deck. Helps you get into your extra deck for no cost. It's a great way to, continue your combos. Then I play 2. I apologize if I butchered this girl's name. Kazashi, the Rikka Queen. 2 level 6 monsters. If a monster is tributed except during the damage step, you can detach one material from this card, then target one monster in either graveyard, special summon it, but negate its effect. Also, it becomes a plant monster. If a plant monster you control would be destroyed by card effect, you tribute one plant monster from your hand or field instead. So, this not only protects your plant monsters, but it also allows you to go through your opponent's graveyard or your own graveyard and, special summon a monster. Great way to, get a free body on the board and go into another level 8. And then for my last Rikka, I play 1 Teardrop, the Rikka Queen. She's 2 level 8 monsters. You can detach one plant monster, or you can detach one material from this card, then target one monster on the field, tribute it. This is a quick effect. If this card has a plant monster as a material, you can only use the effect. You can only use the effect of Teardrop the Rikka Queen once per turn. Each time a monster is tributed, this card gains 200 attack for each until the end of the turn. So not only can you sit there and tribute monsters, you can tribute a monster, but you also give this card 200 attack. And let's say, you're tributing other plant monsters, she's going to gain attack for those tributes. So, this card's a very beefy card. It is one of your, strongest monsters in your deck, or in your extra deck. So she's pretty effective. Then I play 2 Azil, sorry if I butcher the names, the Sylvan High Protector. Like I said, another plant XYZ, 2 level 8s. Once per turn, you can declare one card name in your deck. You can declare one card name, excavate the top of your deck, and if it is the declared card, add it to your hand. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. If a card is sent from your deck to the graveyard by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can detach one XYZ monster from this card. Then target one card on the field. Place that target on either the top or bottom of the deck. You can only use the effect once per turn. So basically this bounces a card off your opponent's field and puts it at the top or bottom of your deck. You can either block them from drawing into their deck, or you can just put that card at the bottom of the deck and let them try and dig it out later in the duel. You know, it's a great way to keep your opponent's field, bounce your cards off the field, and you know, it doesn't hurt to have a 3200 defense. Protects your side of the field until you can get your combos rolling. Then I play 2 number 87 Queen of Night. Like I said, guys, you know, half your extra deck is the plant monsters. So, you know, your snowdrop that, or any of your main deck monsters that prevent you, or main deck cards that prevent you from summoning other monsters than plants, these guys aren't going to be an issue. You know, the number 87 Queen of Night, 3 level 8s. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card. Activate one of these effects. The first effect, target one spell or trap card your opponent controls while this card is face up on the field. That set card cannot be activated. Second effect, target one plant monster on the field, change that target to face down defense position. Third effect, which is the effect I use, target one face up monster on the field, that target gains 300 attack. You know, you're either going to target another plant, or target a spell or trap card. I just like to, you know, power her up, bring her to 3500. You know, your opponent has a hard time beating over a 3500 monster. So, you know, a good way to protect yourself or go on the offensive. Now for your non-plants, I'm running 1 Hope Harbinger. We all know what Hope Harbinger does. Level 8, 2 level 8s. He basically negates spells, and quick effect, you can negate the effect. And if you do attach that card to this as material, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach one material from this card, change the attack to this target. Basically what you're doing is, and his other effect is, if face-up XYZ monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one face-up XYZ monster you control and it gains equal attack to the one destroyed monster's original attack. So you get to power up another monster or power up itself, and you know, you get to negate spells and, you know, give your cards an attack boost. So, you know, this card's disgusting. We all know what this card does. It's a great card to, you know, protect yourself from any harmful spells. Then I like to run a Galaxy package. You know, Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon, Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, and Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade. Still hate that they banished my boy Dark Matter Dragon, but you know, this XYZ package gets it done. Normally I never really go into Cypher Blade. He's just there to have the full Photon, the Cyber Blade package or Galaxy Eyes package, but I mostly go into full armor just because you can bounce a card off the field and it's a 4000 beat stick. Most people can't get over that. I play 1 Dingirsu just for the simple fact that, you know, it's 2 level 8s, you're running a lot of level 8s, and one of its effects are send one card your opponent controls to the graveyard, or attach your banished monster, your machine monsters, to this card as a material. So obviously you're just going to be bouncing opponents' cards because you don't run any machines. Now, you know, for your links, I'm only running 2 links just because I really didn't know what to do, but they work out in my favor. Topological Bomber, basically anything summoned into any of these zones wipes the field. Good way to, you know, intentional or anything special summoned into one of these zones, you get to wipe the field. basically a good way to, you know, keep your opponent on their toes. Since you are able to get monsters out so quickly and in great numbers, I run one 5-headed Link Dragon just for the simple fact that in one turn I've gotten almost 5 monsters out, whether it's special summoning, normal, basically mostly special summons. But you know, once you get this card on the field, you know, only downside is you gotta have enough cards to banish to keep it on the field. But with this deck and the way you cycle through everything, it's not really that hard to keep this card on the field for, I say, at least 4 or 5 turns. So, like I said, guys, this is the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You guys have a great day.